What's up, Panthers Nation? We're back today with another video. It is Thanksgiving while you were recording this, and I'd like to get into a couple of fan comments and suggestions for the team. Alright, so this is from Tammy Ruffin, or Ruffin. I'm not sure how you pronounce your last name, but if you're watching this, I hope I pronounced it correctly. I read your comments, and I really do like every one of them that you put out there, and you're correct. So let's go through them. First off, the players aren't paying attention to the quarterback, and she's speaking specifically to the wide receivers in this instance. They're not paying enough attention to the quarterback, where to go, what to do, once they've ran their route. What you got to look at the quarterback, be ready for the ball. And I agree with that. That's a general concept of a wide receiver. You need to be sure that you know where the quarterback is and where that ball could come at all times. It could randomly come to you out of nowhere, even when you're in coverage. So you got to be ready. But all of that comes from knowledge and experience of the game and the play call and where you're supposed to be and when. No one is available at wide receiver to catch the ball. She's absolutely correct. No one's there. I mean, if you're not looking at the quarterback and you're not prepared to catch the ball, you're not available to catch the ball. That's point blank. And Samuel, I'm looking at you because that was a big issue with you this year so far. And, DJ has that every once in a while. I've seen him do that too, where he won't pay attention to Kyle and he'll get thrown the ball in coverage and he won't be able to catch it. So, because he's not available. The entire team must become more focused on the game. Period, point blank, I agree. This entire team is not focused on the game. I don't know where their focus is, but it's not on the football field on some of these Sundays. You look back to the Tampa Bay game, you look back to the San Francisco game, even though we got trounced. Some of these players were not focused on the game. They got lazy, they took plays off, and they were just not focused whatsoever. And that starts with Ron Rivera waking them up and telling them, hey, do what you need to do. It's not rocket science. Look at the playbook. Look at the film. Know where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. It's not complicated, guys. Come on. I don't feel like this coaching staff is giving them complicated plays either to learn. You look back at some of these plays that were run, even just by our offense, even just the routes by our wide receivers on offense. They're just the most basic West Coast routes. And these guys are just not focused. They're not prepared every week. And that starts with Ron Rivera. That's a management problem. I've been saying it all year long. We've had a management problem. And it starts with Ron. It starts from the very head top of the food chain. Ron Rivera. He's got to wake up and coach properly. This is how many years he's been in Carolina now? He should know this. I don't care if you're going to retire, Ron. I don't care. I don't care if you know the mess that you're leaving this team in when you retire. I don't care. I care about what happens on the field during the season. Coach your team properly, man. Come on. Next one. Time off should be allocated to studying plays and know where they're going to run before they run it. And I'm adding the last part, before they run the play. I'm adding that to your comment, Tammy. I hope you don't mind. But it's important for them to know where they're supposed to be. I've said it the entire video. I'm not going to repeat myself again. And Ron should be taking time to talk to his players during the game. Love this one. Love this one. If you watch most of the veteran coaches that have been winning games consistently, Bill Belichick, he'll talk to his players. Mike McCarthy, he talked to his players. Tomlin talks to his players, even though they're not doing well this year, the Steelers, but he talks to his players. He communicates with them. Ron just stands there like a statue and just like, yep, nice play. Yep. Terrible play. Yep. And the most reaction you're going to get out of him is if the refs are really screwed up and doing a terrible job. That's it. That's all you're going to get out of him. When he's really, really happy, you'll see him fist pump like he did on Sunday, but I mean, that's about all you're going to get out of him emotionally. That's not... You've got to communicate with your players. And I hate to go back to the Clemson example yet again, but if you look at Dabo Swinney and how much he talks to his players between plays, you'll realize, oh, hey, these players listen to their coach. They care about what the coach is saying. They care about what's going to happen next. And it motivates them going forward. It's all about saying something, communicating, and communicating it well. And what you are communicating. And Ron Rivera does none of those three things. None of them. It's frustrating to watch. It's very frustrating to watch because I remember Norv Turner, when he used to coach for San Diego, used to be very, very open to communication with players. I remember that. You watch him on the sidelines, he'll have his typical conversations with Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates and LT. Say, okay, see, these guys are the veterans. These guys listen to me. This is what I want on the field. This is what I want to happen. Go make it happen. And they do it. And that's how it was with him and Cam Newton early on. And Jonathan Stewart and, these guys listened to him. And they executed. Where is that gone? Where is that gone? It's not there anymore. Ever since that Super Bowl, he has just been like a mime. And I don't like it. So, Tammy, thank you for these comments. I appreciate every single one of them that you put into one big long paragraph. But anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you. And if you'd like to go find that one, it's in one of the Panthers Facebook groups. I don't remember which one, but yeah. So there's your shout out. There's your fan comment for this week. I may have to start doing that. I may have to pull one comment per week and just put it in a video along with suggestions for the team. That's what I think I might start doing. But let's get into my suggestions here of what I think we should do going forward. And I know this isn't realistic. I know it's probably not going to happen. But this is what I would like to see. And I know a good chunk of you are going to agree with this. Most of you will not. And that's fine. But here's what I'd like to see. We need to clean out the coaching staff. Now, here's what I mean. Offensive coordinator, I want to see Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy knows what he's doing with depth on teams. He knows how to build teams up, and he knows how to properly get offensive scores on the board out of his players. You know, the Packers haven't had that much over the years, over the past decade here, but somehow he's managed to turn them back around and pull a rabbit out of the hat and get points on the board with Rodgers. Now, I'll grant you, Rodgers is an exceptional quarterback. He's had an exceptional running back, and, you know, they've found a way to make it work with Randall Cobb and some of the average wide receivers that they have. You know, maybe above average wide receivers, if you want to call them that. But, you know, I feel like he would do wonders here in Carolina as an offensive coordinator. Combine him with Josh McDaniels on defense. Now, the only drawback to Josh McDaniels is that you can't run Belichick's system without Belichick. And what I mean is, he's tried to do that out in Denver and it didn't work. You know, without Belichick's knowledge and ability to put together a full roster, you're not going to be successful with his method in another town, in another city. So what I'm thinking is that if we put him at defensive coordinator, he's only got one job. Focus on the defense. Put together a defense that will focus on a balanced attack where we can stop the run and we can also guard the pass. You know, and we're going to give up some plays. Sure, we'll give up some plays. But at the end of the day, if you watch Josh McDaniels as the defensive coordinator for the Patriots, he did an exceptional job reading offensive plays. He did an exceptional job of making sure the players were in the right place at the right time to make the tackles. And the players executed. You know, they listened to him. And that's the type of defensive coordinator we need in Carolina. He motivated these guys. You didn't just see him just stand there. You never see our defensive coordinator that we have right now on camera. But, you know, Josh McDaniels motivates these guys and he gets things moving on defense. That's what we need. When we lost Thomas Davis, that's a critical part of what we lost on this defense, I feel like. People were listening to him and Luke together. You know, they worked together as a 1-2 combo punch. And when Luke handled the passing over the middle and the run, Thomas Davis handled the mid coverage and the deep coverage, as well as blitzed. So, you know, both of them together worked in tandem. And it worked so well. It worked so well. They couldn't run on us at all in 4-3. Not at all. Some of the veteran running backs could, but, you know, everybody thought Thomas Davis has lost a step. I watched that San Diego game this week. Nope. He did not lose a step at all. This man is still solid. So, the bigger question is, did we not want to pay him all that money? Was he asking for too much? I don't think so. Did we think he was going to retire? Probably. That's most likely why we did it. So, either way, he is with the Chargers now, so he's not on this roster, so we're having to make do. So we switched to a 3-4. That didn't work. Running backs are running circles around us with the draw on the ISO. And I just don't know what to tell you. We need corners that can switch, that can mainly play 3-4 to guard the pass, but switch back and handle the run as well on the outside in screens and sweep plays and whatnot like that. That's what we need. And we do not have that right now. So my suggestion is start drafting some. If they exist. And the free safety, Trey Boston, Eric Reed, would primarily play 3-4. Linebackers would be balanced. The line would be 4-3. That's what I think we should do. I feel like a balanced attack would help us greatly. With the proper coach, Josh McDaniels, leading the charge. He knows his stuff. Give him a year to learn the players, learn what they do, learn their methods and how we do things at Carolina, and then let him start adjusting things in the defensive coordinator playbook. And watch the results. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. If he's only focused on defensive coordinating and not head coach, great things will happen. That leads me to head coach Harbaugh from Michigan. Now, Harbaugh is tough, but he's fair. He will motivate these players. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to build up a team, and he understands depth on rosters. That's a big key thing. When he's working together with Mike McCarthy on depth, especially on the lines, good things will happen. Now, I understand none of this is realistic. None of this will probably happen. But it's a suggestion. It's a suggestion. There's probably 1 in 1 millionth chance of this happening. Better chances of winning the lottery. But, hey, let's keep going. So here's the other one that's controversial. This one is going to piss off some fans. And I don't want to be the person that takes the most heat here for this one, but because other people have agreed with this that I've talked to. But I suppose I will because I'm the one that came up with this suggestion. Anyway, what I think we should do is trade Cam Newton, Darrell Williams, and Taylor Moton. Package them up, all one trade. And I'll talk about why Cam Newton doesn't hurt us later on in a few minutes here. But first, let me tell you what I plan on using those picks for that we're trading them for. 4th round this year, we draft a corner that is balanced. We use that extra 4th on a corner. And let me tell you why. 4th and 5th rounds, we've had the most success getting corners under Dave Gettleman and under Marty. So that is my suggestion. Let's see if anything good pops up. We may have to train these guys for a year or two. Who cares? Develop them. Let's see if they're a bust or not. If not, we go back to the drawing board next draft. Keep moving them. Keep rotating them. Until we get something. That's what I feel like we need to do. Is keep rotating these guys in trades. If necessary, get draft picks, late round draft picks. If these guys are halfway tradable. If they don't pan out. And let's just get something for our efforts. Not just trade to trade. That's ridiculous. That's what we used to do under Oh man, I hate trading just for trading's sake. If you're gonna give away your best players and not get anything back for it, what's the point in trading? Now, the other pick I want is a first round pick in the 2021 draft. And let me tell you what that does for us. We've had way too many carries with Christian McCaffrey. Here's what I want. I want us to be able to get number one, Trevor Lawrence, number two, Travis Etienne. When those two work together in tandem, it's like a 1-2 combo punch. And with Christian McCaffrey leading the way, we won't have to worry about quarterback depth, starting quarterback, or running back position for at least 3 years. At least 3, if we put our line together correctly in those second and third round picks. I do recommend tanking in 2021 to get Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne if we want to go this route. I still recommend tanking in 2021 to get Trevor Lawrence with a new coaching staff. But you've got to use second round, third round for offensive linemen to replace Taylor Moton, to replace Darrell Williams. Both of them are just not going to work for our offense. It's not going to be enough. And I feel like if you package them up, and Cam Newton was talking about the Bears, right? So send them all to the Bears. You know, they've already picked up one of our pass linemen. I think it was, I forget who it was. But anyway, I feel like that is the best solution going forward as a plan. Now, here's how Cam doesn't hurt us. I told you this. I was going to come back to this, and now I am. Cam Newton cannot hurt us for the most part because, number one, even if he's healthy, he's making bad decisions throwing the ball. And you don't even have to look that far. And he's using his foot as an excuse for making bad decisions. That's your head. When you throw it into double coverage, triple coverage, knowing that there's double coverage and triple coverage there, that's your brain. That's not your foot. I'm sorry to tell you that, Cam, but that's your brain. And if you don't fix that, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're not going to get points out of the drives. You're not going to get anything. And lo and behold, we're 0-6 because of that in his last 6 starts. You don't have to look far. Now, granted, his shoulder was a problem in 17. Granted, his shoulder was a problem in 16. But I'm talking about right now. Even if somehow he gets his foot healed up, he's still going to be making bad decisions, and that leads to turnovers. So, even then, that's still better than Trubisky's doing right now in Chicago, but, you know, it's not by much. Not by much. Because he'll be able to run, but, you know, most of these defenses have adapted to his running ability now, as opposed to back in 15 when he was in his prime. So, honestly, I don't see how he's going to help us going forward when he's making just as many bad decisions healthy with his foot healthy and his shoulder still not 100%. You're never going to get that shoulder 100%. That's a delusion. That's a delusion that some of these Cam lovers seem to have. Let's just make that clear right now. That's never going to happen. But his foot, sure, that can be healed. But even then, once you've got him healed, He's making just as many bad decisions with the ball as Kyle against the Falcons. Honestly, I don't see the point. Let's trade him while he still has some value. Let's get a first and a fourth. Yeah. And I feel like for maybe even a fifth or a sixth, if Taylor Moton and Daryl Williams aren't worth the fourth, let's let's move them anyway. You know, together they've got to be worth at least one pick. That's my thought process. You know, I I'm pretty good at spotting how much these players are worth. When you're trading. So I could be right. I could be off by a little bit, but you know, I do feel like moving these two is the right decision. And we cut Galden for obvious reasons this week. I mean, I don't even need to get into this. His actions are just not what we do here in Carolina. That's just not acceptable. He had to go. He was underproducing anyway. So I approve of that decision. Joey Sly. Now, I have a little bit more patience with kickers. I have a little bit more respect for what they do under pressure. But you know, I couldn't even dream of what his problem is because he keeps pushing these kicks to the right. That suggests like a mechanics issue, maybe his plant foot, like he was suggesting. I have no idea. I have no idea how to fix that. I'm not a kicker. So, you know, if anybody knows like about that area of football, please do leave a comment down below and let me know what you think his issue was. Regardless, it doesn't matter anymore because we cut him. But we did give him time to try to fix it, and fair enough. We were looking into a new kicker out of the tryouts right now, so I have no idea. We're working out new kickers, and we'll just see what we pop up with. I can tell you this much. Gano is still out for the year, so I don't know what our management thinks we're going to do about the kicking situation, but regardless, we need to get it fixed. And it's got to get fixed soon. Otherwise, we're going to get in some trouble there. But those are my suggestions. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of those suggestions. Try to be non-biased. I know it's hard, but try to be non-biased and just think of it from a long-term perspective, picture of how we're going to get this team rebuilt in 3 years. And think of it as this is retool, rebuild, restructure, whatever you want to call it, but it's a long-term solution for 3 years or more. And I'm always thinking long-term, so just keep that in mind. But that's how I think we can fix this team. If you have any additional suggestions, leave them in the comments below as well. Anything positive that you have to say, please do let me know. That you see that we're doing right, that you think we need to keep doing. Also leave that down below. And once you put the pieces together, and if our management gets cleaned out, that's what I'd like to see happen. I highly doubt it will. Like I said, 1 in a million chance. Better chances of winning the lottery, but hey, I'm tired of this team being mediocre, and I'm sure you are too. This is how we fix it. This is how we fix it, folks. We don't fix it by just idly keeping the same players and being lazy and mediocre yet again, trying for 9 wins every year and hoping that we make the playoffs. No, that's not how we fix this team. With lackadaisical management, that's not how it works. That's not how we're going to move forward and start becoming a playoff team again and winning a division and beating the Falcons, beating the Saints, beating the Bucks even. How do we lose to the Bucks early on in this season? That really grinds my gears. But anyway, that may lead to our undoing. We'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't. But that Saints game could have definitely propelled us into a positive area where we can maybe get 9 wins and secure a playoff spot. But, it's still on the table. We just got to get our win in Atlanta. We got to take care of business against the Redskins at home and then beat Atlanta in the Dome, and we got a shot at 9 wins going forward. But if we don't win that Atlanta game, I see a 6-10 season and going for draft picks. Now, I'm not sure exactly where that puts us in the draft order. I'm sure most of you will probably be able to tell me in the comments, but I'm thinking top 10 to top 15 again. But y'all will let me know down below. Anyway, if you're new, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Definitely hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos. And keep pounding. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy it.